Hi there, do you know in 1971, Dan Cooper hijacked a passenger flight with a threatening note. On November 24, 1971, Dan Cooper bought a one-way ticket from Portland to Seattle on Northwest Airlines Flight 305. The white man in his mid-40s wearing a business suit drank a bourbon and soda before passing a note to a flight attendant stating he had a detonation device in his briefcase. As the FBI explained in its notes about the case, let's discuss more in the video. The stunned stewardess did as she was told. Opening a cheap attaché case, Cooper showed her a glimpse of a mass of wires and red-colored sticks and demanded that she write down what he told her. Soon, she was walking a new note to the captain of the plane that demanded 4 parachutes and $200,000 in $20 bills. It was just after 3 p.m. when the action unfolded. The quiet Cooper in seat 18 degrees Celsius apparently kept his cool as the plane made its way to Seattle. He released the 36 passengers in Seattle in exchange for the parachutes and cash. When the Northwest Airlines plane landed in Seattle, Cooper used the 36 passengers as negotiating tools to ensure the safe delivery of the parachutes and cash. In the air, passengers were unaware a hijacker was among them. Larry Feingold, a young lawyer for the U.S. Attorney's Office who was on the flight that afternoon, told media outlets the pilot announced that there were some difficulties. Passengers were told the crew was in touch with the ground, and they would be circling the city for a while they worked on whatever the problem was. Feingold realized what was going on when, after landing, an FBI agent he knew boarded the plane and told him, "Larry, there's a skyjacker on the plane, and we're gonna get you off the plane in a couple minutes." Agents then cruised up and down the aisle with bundles of cash and parachutes. Once his demands were met, Cooper let the passengers go. The pilot and crew, however, were asked to stay. He demanded the pilot fly to Mexico City and remain below 10,000 feet. With his $200,000 and 4 parachutes, D.B. Cooper told the pilot of Flight 305 to take off for Mexico City. It was 7:37 p.m., and the Boeing 727 plane had been refueled. The flight attendant Cooper originally passed the note to, Tina Mucklow, remained in the cabin with him until the plane reached the altitude he requested, below 10 feet. Once the plane was steady in the air, Cooper told Mucklow to return to the cockpit, where the 3 other crew members were. In addition to the low altitude, Cooper stipulated the plane had to travel at a low speed with its landing gear down. The pilot told him this flying pattern would require a fuel stop in Reno, NV, and Cooper consented. He jumped from the plane with the money and a parachute mid-flight. Right around 8 p.m., a light in the 727's cockpit indicated the rear door of the plane and its stairs were engaged. Sometime in the next 15 minutes, Cooper jumped from the stairs with a parachute and the money, plunging into darkness. If there's any place around you wouldn't want to jump into, that'd be it, an FBI investigator later stated about the location Cooper chose to parachute into, a god-forsaken swath of rugged Washington forest country east of Interstate 5. The plane landed in Reno without issue. The only trace of Cooper on the plane was his black clip-on necktie. He was never heard from again, and no remains were ever found. Authorities searched the woods in Washington state where Cooper would have likely landed, but no trace of him was found. While the case remained active, many experts hypothesized Cooper did not survive the fall. Journalist Bill Cooper, who interviewed multiple agents involved with the case, thinks Cooper was not prepared for the jump. It was below zero air temperature and D.B. Cooper would have hit the air, and the air was 170 knots. It would have been like slamming into a brick wall. Special Agent Larry Carr thinks Cooper wouldn't have been able to get the parachute open, as he told journalists decades after the incident occurred. Diving into the wilderness without a plan, without the right equipment, in such terrible conditions, he probably never even got his chute open. No experienced parachutist would have jumped in the pitch-black night, in the rain, with a 200-mile-an-hour wind in his face, wearing loafers and a trench coat. It was simply too risky. In 1980, a boy discovered some of the money in a rotting package. Despite mounting evidence Cooper may have perished during his escape from the plane, the FBI decided to keep the case open. 9 years after the incident in 1980, an 8-year-old boy discovered $5,800 on the north bank of the Columbia River. The cash was in a rotted package, and it matched the serial numbers of the ransom money demanded by Cooper. While this was a major discovery for investigators, it did not lead to any breakthroughs, and no additional cash was found. With inflation, the amount of money Cooper absconded with, $200,000, would equate to well over $1 million in the present. The FBI closed the unsolved case in 2016, ending a 45-year investigation. On July 12, 2016, the FBI in Seattle issued a press release signaling the end of its search for D.B. Cooper. According to the press release, although the FBI appreciated the immense number of tips provided by members of the public, none to date have resulted in a definitive identification of the hijacker. Despite the many leads pursued by the organization, none of them proved culpability beyond a reasonable doubt, meaning the proof needed to detain someone never materialized. Even though the case is closed, the FBI still asks anyone with physical evidence pertaining to the identity of Cooper to come forward. Thanks for watching the mysterious disappearance of D.B. Cooper. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more interesting videos like this.